Hello, Virgo. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aviana. This is Aviana's Ascension, and today we are going to see what messages Spirit has for you. I'm going back to how I used to do readings. I'm releasing them based on who has the most views, engagement, all that stuff. You guys are number one. Thank you so much for that support. So let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. We're going to start with some oracle messages. I was getting the energy though that you guys need to speak nicer to yourself, right? Talk to yourself how you would speak to your friend, your loved ones. Watch how that internal voice is speaking to you. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to listen to it, right? You don't have to give it power and energy. And yeah, like if you wouldn't tolerate someone else speaking to you like that, you definitely shouldn't take it from yourself. You know what I mean? So just be a little bit nicer to yourself. All right. But we've got Nocturne, the Herbalist, we have Tarantula, and Nightshade. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. So you guys could be, some of you guys could be vegetarian. Some of y'all could have red hair, or you could really enjoy nature. Maybe you like to forage, things like that. But I'm going to break down these messages with the tarot, and we shall see what each of these messages mean. Okay. Bottom of the deck, though, we do have clock. Okay. So don't let the illusion of time make you think that you're not making enough progress or that you're going to run out of time. Being present and just going with the flow is the greatest use of your time, right? We only get one life. Well, we only get to be this version of us one time, right? So sit with that version of you. Enjoy the things you enjoy. Enjoy your life. And know that it's beautiful to have goals, aspirations, but time isn't real. And comparing yourself to others is not the vibe. Okay, we have ceremony, we have tea, jasmine. I definitely feel like you're feeling overwhelmed with things. And I think you need to do different meditations, getting into tea, things like that to bring a calming energy to you. Because I feel like you're trying to rush through something. And that could come back to the way you're speaking to yourself. Maybe you feel like, oh, I'm this age and I haven't done this yet. I've been working on this for so long. How come it hasn't, gotten more traction, things like that. And time is the thief of joy. So just don't even pay attention to it. All right, we're going to get into the book to talk about what each of these little meanings are. Okay, so we have nocturne here. That is referring to something that happens at night or someone who doesn't sleep. This could be related to a sleep disorder or something that kept you awake. So yeah, I just feel like you guys are very stressed out right now, and your sleep could definitely be something that's being impacted by this. But again, you can't control everything, right? You can't control how things unfold. If the divine has a plan for something, you can't you can't force something to come to fruition before it's meant to. So just bring some ease into your life and recognize that you're not meant to have every single answer, and just have more fun. All right, so we have the herbalist here. Let's see what that's about. This says nourishment, healing, and recovery may refer to an earth sign, which is you. So yeah, it's definitely time to just give yourself some self-care, give yourself some ease, some relaxation, because there's something you're worrying about. I feel like it's going to come to fruition. I feel that it's going to be okay. So don't worry so much. Put that energy into something that brings you fulfillment, whether that means, like for me, for example, say I was worried about my business. Okay, well, instead of staying up all night worrying about it, let me put in some readings, let me do some work, go to some events, make some art, make a meditation. Maybe I should meditate myself or give myself a reading. Like putting that energy into something that is fulfilling for you, that makes you feel good, rather than just sitting there overthinking, worrying, and all that. All right, we have Tarantula. Let's see what that's about. I love these cards. I like the little gold on the side. So cute. All right, Tarantula. Making a choice, thinking about all the possible outcomes, deciding carefully, and with use of clear judgment. Yeah, you're being very what's the word? Very strategic right now, right? I think what Spirit is saying, like what you need the most is just ease and relaxation. But you're just like, okay, if this is what I'm worried about, what are the choices? What can I do to make this work out for me? And that's good. It's good to think of different avenues and different options, but do it from an energy of hope and faith, not from feeling defeated. Okay. And then we have Nightshade. Ooh, I don't know why I said it like that, but I like it. Okay, Nightshade. Got a little tomato there. Some of you guys may like tomatoes. Indicates arguments, entanglements, disagreements, may imply toxicity. Okay, so there could have been like a fight or some sort of negative energy that's been keeping you up. Now, this could involve another person. This could involve fighting with your inner self, whatever. You're trying to think of, how can I get out of this situation? What's the best next step for me? And Spirit is also encouraging. Why am I saying it like that? Encouraging. There we go. Encouraging rest, relaxation, ease, all that stuff. And I do feel like it's going to work out for you. Everything's going to be okay. I just feel like you might need to take a step back from a couple things. So let's see. Let's get into the tarot, get more clarity on this. All right, bottom of the deck. Yeah, we have the Two of Cups. So you could be having an argument with someone you're very close to. This could be a romantic partner, a friend, family member, someone you're in business with. Let's see. Yeah, we have the Eight of Swords, Ten of Wands. You're very much in your mind about this partnership. Maybe you feel like there's just too much work here. Maybe you feel like it's not equal give and take. You're just feeling really stuck right now. We have the Knight of Wands, the Death card, the Three of Swords. Okay, so you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries here with the Knight of Wands. This could be somebody that you feel like, yeah, they're a lot of fun, but there's no consistency there. And maybe that's why you feel like you have to pick up the slack. You just feel like this isn't someone you can completely depend on. So I see you cutting your losses. Could be dealing with the Scorpio with the Death card. Yeah, Seven of Wands, Three of Wands. I just see you pulling your energy back and just focusing on yourself. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. If someone isn't giving you what you feel you need and you feel like you're overcompensating time and time again, then yeah, take a step back. And make sure you're being kind to yourself during this process. Because sometimes when we feel a certain way about others, we judge ourselves for feeling that way. And it's not to say, that this person not being in alignment for you is a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. So that way you both can go find who you're meant to be around. But feeling bad about yourself for not feeling fulfilled from a certain partnership isn't fair to do to yourself. Okay? All right, let's get into Nocturne. Let's see what's keeping you up at night. What's going on there with Nocturne? Please and thank you. Tell us more. Yeah, somebody could have red hair, definitely. Because I have Temperance here. She's got red hair on the card. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, there's some sort of hardship. Yeah, it's like you're trying your best to make something out of nothing. But at the end of the day, I see you just choosing to kind of go on your own because there's bigger and better things out there for you. This is your card with the Hermit. Could be dealing with an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But yeah, don't let your anxiety, your fear keep you held back because you've got the whole world ahead of you, something very beautiful. Like you can make magic out of nothing. So when you're someone like that, you want to be careful about who you provide that magic to, right? Just so you don't drain yourself. All right, let's see what we got. So we have the Queen of Wands, the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I see a lot of you dealing with a fire sign. Again, with the red hair. Is that a cloak? No, that's her hair. Okay. So could be dealing with the Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. I definitely see issues between you, someone else. And this could be somebody who, again, is very charming, very attractive. They know how to turn a negative into a positive. But it could be like it's feeling like someone who is always happy-go-lucky, which is beautiful, amazing, great. But if it's a situation where you're always having to kind of clean up the mess behind somebody, it's not fun for you, and it feels like this person doesn't recognize the efforts you're putting in behind the scene. It's like, I'm just trying to think of an example. Say you're moving somewhere, you and this person are moving, right? And this person's just dilly-dallying, not getting their stuff packed up, not getting things organized. And they're just like, oh, well, we still have like a week left. We've got enough time. And the whole week, you're sitting here packing things up, getting things organized, getting movers together, all this stuff. And then the day of the move, the movers come through, everything's ready to go. And they're like, see, I told you it was going to be fine. And you're like, yeah, it's fine because I did all the work. Like, that's what it feels like. It just feels like someone's not noticing the efforts, the energy that you're having to put into something. And it's draining you at this point. I get that. Okay. Yeah, we have Temperance here, Sagittarius energy, so you could be dealing with the Sag. I see that you're really trying to make the most out of a situation. You're trying to be balanced. You're trying to be peaceful. You're saying, you know what, this isn't the first time I've had to deal with something like this. I know I'm a Virgo. I know I like things organized and I like to have a plan. And I know not everyone's like that. So you really are trying to compromise. You're trying to meet in the middle. You don't want to have an issue. You don't want to have problems here. But again, I don't think diluting yourself or quieting your voice is always the answer, personally. Like, there's a way to communicate without being defensive or being accusatory or, like, you know, putting all the blame on someone else, right? I would just figure out the way that you can bring it up to say, like, hey, you know, I've been doing a lot of these things behind the scenes. I know you haven't noticed. If you have noticed, that's great, but I would just like it to be a little more equal give and take here. And that's not too much to ask for, in my opinion. I don't think so at all. We have the Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, the Page of Swords. So I feel what's keeping you up at night is you want a new start with the Page of Cups, Page of Swords, Ace of Cups, right? All of these cards talk about, you know, just going towards new things, especially with the Ace and the Page of Cups here. These are things rooted in love, rooted in fulfillment, rooted in, you know, emotional compatibility. With the Page of Swords, you're not super like jumping at the gun to have this new beginning, but you recognize like, hey, I've been compromising a lot here. You know, I don't mind, you know, every once in a while, you know, just being the one that, you know, takes the high road or whatever you want to call it. But what kind of life is that forever? You know what I mean? So I just see you just the gears are slowly moving and you're recognizing, hey, I want to go towards something new. And this could even mean a new approach. This could even mean you taking a step back and deciding, you know what, maybe I don't put so much energy into cleaning up this mess here and just put that energy into things that make me happy. It's kind of like what I said earlier. Instead of worrying, what can you do? Where can you put that energy in a healthy way? You know what I mean? Okay. Let's clarify the Page of Swords, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups a bit more. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords. All right, just the Seven of Swords. Yeah, see, with the Seven of Swords, I definitely feel like you're not fulfilled in this situation and you're trying to think of the best way to kind of make your exit. You want to go towards bigger and better, and honestly, you deserve that. But what I don't suggest is lying or being deceitful at all. Be honest. Communicate your feelings, even if that means it's uncomfortable. Yeah, we have the Sun, the Four of Pentacles, the Chariot. You're holding on to a beautiful dream that you have, a beautiful dream of happiness, balanced, joy, optimism, and that requires you to take some action and move forward. So there's going to be some things you have to let go of. All right, let's keep it moving and grooving. So we have the Herbalist here. And see, I'm noticing Nightshade, Nocturne. These could definitely be thoughts that keep you up at night. Or there could be something that happens at night where you're just like, I can't deal with this anymore, whatever. So the Herbalist, this is healing, recovery, all that good stuff. So tell me more about the Herbalist for Virgo, please and thank you. Uh-oh. Oh, flew over there. Okay, let me go get this card. Ooh, it went all the way over there. That's crazy, child. All right. I've got want it. You guys, I've been juicing and it's been pretty cool, actually. It's my latest creation. It's carrots, apple, and turmeric. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay. How many times can I say okay? Let's see. Ooh-wee, I'll tell you what. We have the Fool here. You are ready for a new beginning. You are ready to just let go of the past, let go of the things weighing you down, and start a new chapter for yourself. This definitely involves Two of Cups, Four of Wands. This involves a partnership, a relationship that is very close to you. You could have a family with this person, or you could have been thinking about marriage or family, starting a family with this person, whatever. This could be someone that's extremely, extremely close to you. And I just feel like you're just ready to kind of cut your losses here. With the Seven of Wands, the Five of Swords, I think that in order for you to heal and recover from this, it's time for you to be selfish. And that can be very hard, right? No one wants to be selfish. No one wants to seem like the jerk that doesn't care about other people's feelings. But if you don't care about your feelings, who will? You know? So don't feel bad about having to put yourself first, because this person clearly isn't. And it's not to say anything bad about them. I don't feel a malicious energy or anything like that from this person. I just think this person isn't on the same wavelength as you. You know what I mean? And with the Knight of Pentacles, slowly but surely, you will have that ease, have that rejuvenation that you desire in this moment. You just got to be patient. You got to do what you're guided to do, which is to protect your energy, focus on yourself, and pull back a little bit. So again, we've got this fire energy, definitely dealing with a fire sign. Okay, you guys may benefit from checking out the fire signs. We have the Empress, the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Swords. Okay. See, there's a whole new start for you. We've got Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. But that start comes from you walking away from something. And you know, this guy is the hermit before he goes into hermit mode. Right? So it's time for you to walk away from some things so you can go towards your fulfillment, your happiness, your abundance. Okay? No need to compromise yourself anymore. Tell me a little bit about that Two of Cups. See, Nine of Wands popping out immediately. So definitely Sagittarius, Leo, Aries energy. We have the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and there you are. Okay? You know what's interesting about this is you showed up as the king and they were the queen. You're the queen, they're the knight. This person just isn't on your level, Virgo. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a knight. But you can't, the queen doesn't do what the knight says. The knight does what the queen says, right? So if you want to mess with somebody who's a king or queen, you got to upgrade. This is someone that, again, it's nothing bad about them. It's just they're not consistent enough in your life. They're not reliable enough. And you as an earth sign, you need that security and that stability. Yeah, it's just time for you to walk away from this situation. You're just hurting yourself at this point. You know what I mean? All right, let's get into Tarantula. All right, so figuring out which avenue, which route to take, trying to make your best judgment right now. So let's see. So I definitely see that you're going to be making some decisions. Again, the gears are starting to turn. So let's see what you end up on. Let's see. Tell me more about Tarantula. Tarantula. I don't know why I said it like that. We have the Knight of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Lovers. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I see at the end of the day with the Knight of Cups, the Lovers, could be dealing with a Gemini there. You really do want to you want to do this, follow love, basically, right? You want to do everything in the power of love. You don't want to be mean. You don't want to be, you know, you don't want to throw anyone off guard. You don't want to hurt anyone in this process. So it's like you're asking yourself, how can I do what I need to do without hurting anybody? Sometimes you have to hurt people, though. Okay? Because to me, it would hurt me more if someone stayed around me knowing that they didn't want to be there. Right? So it's just kind of like rip the Band-Aid off. Okay, we have the Four of Cups here. So yeah, it's just something you've totally lost interest in. You're not into it. You're not feeling it. You're not vibing with it. I do see you like really like meditating, praying about this and just saying like, okay, I know this is how I feel, but what is the proper way to move on from this? And I feel with the Knight of Swords, it's following your truth, being totally honest, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck. Why is that? It's because he lets his truth, his morals, his values be the guide for him. So whenever you're honoring your truth, yeah, it may be uncomfortable for others. It may put you in difficult situations, but when you know it's your truth, you don't falter on that. It's kind of like someone doing like music for a career, right? That's very not unconventional, but it's a hard route, you know what I mean? But if you know that's what I'm passionate about, that's what I'm meant to do here, then you're going to go through with it. Same with me and my tarot. Unconventional, but I know it's my purpose, so I'm going to, you know, tough it out till I have to, right? Because I believe in it. So whatever you believe in, whatever feels right for you, that's what you need to go towards. Because look at this. I mean, yeah, you've been, again, with the Five of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. You've been putting up with too much for too long. Tell me more about the Lovers, the Knight of Cups. Again, the King of Swords. Okay. At the end of the day, they said, listen, we love love. Everybody loves love. But at the end of the day, you have to be honest about what you're feeling, about what you're going through. And the thing about the King of Swords is he doesn't need other people to go along with it. So that's what you got to recognize. What your truth is and what your path is, other people may not vibe with that. Other people may not understand it. They may not agree with it. They may try to redirect you. You know what's right for you, Virgo. That's all Spirit's saying. You know what's right for you. So don't let other people's feelings or judgments slow you down. Okay? Yeah, it's like there's a lot of fear surrounding letting go of something. But once you let go, the sun comes out. You know what I mean? All right, let's see about Nightshade here. So this was something like some sort of argument, toxic in situation, something like that. So let's see what's going on. Tell me more about Nightshade for Virgo. Ooh-wee, I'm telling you what. Nightshade. We have the Nine of Cups, the Emperor, the King of Cups, the Tower. Yeah. So, yeah, you're going to go through a tower moment with this. Now, towers can be uncomfortable or they can be beautiful. Sometimes a tower is an epiphany, just a beautiful realization. Sometimes it's, somebody cheating on you so that way you finally leave a situation. However it unfolds is how it needs to unfold. But at the end of the day, King of Cups, Spirit is saying, stay in your power. Know when to give into your emotions, know when to be balanced. Beautiful thing about the King of Cups is he can be in the middle of the ocean and he still is focused, clear-headed, and calm. That's your role here. There's going to be an uncomfortable situation that is necessary because you need to free yourself from this. Okay? And with the Emperor, the Nine of Cups, Aries energy, you also have Scorpio with the Tower there. This is a situation where you got to believe in yourself 100%. The Emperor is someone who's going to take action, go after it, feel confident doing so. You're going towards fulfillment for yourself. So don't have any doubt, any second guessing, any question if that's the right thing to do, because it is. Okay? And sometimes whenever you have a tower coming through, because at the end of the day, you all have free will, right? You can do what you want to do, handle whatever, however you want to handle it. You know what I mean? But a way to kind of not have this tower be the end of the world is by, first of all, being honest, right? Communicating, but also recognizing that endings are inevitable. Nothing lasts forever. So don't force yourself to hold on to something because you think, oh, well, I'm supposed to be here forever. You're not being anywhere forever. You're not even going to be on earth forever. So allow things to change, allow things to end so you can go towards new beginnings, okay? Yeah, there's just a lot of like fear and anxiety kind of blocking your intuition, but you know that there is something that needs to come to an end so that way you can thrive and focus on yourself. Tell me more about the Tower and the King of Cups. Yeah, we have the Hanged Man, Pisces energy there. So yeah, they're telling you your superpower is to change your perspective. Don't see something as like a prison sentence or holding you back. See it as something that's finally giving you that freedom that you want. Yeah, it's time to move on from this situation. Rip the Band-Aid off. All right, I'm going to get you guys some crystals that might help you in this time. And then we're going to tap into the shadow and see where this, maybe fear of being honest, maybe the over-compromising, let's see where that's stemming from. And I'm going to start closing out my readings with the shadow deck because that's kind of what I specialize in with alchemy and, turning your pain into power and getting to know that part of yourself so it's no longer self-sabotaging you. So I'm going to start doing that just because that's what I love to do. That's what I believe in. So let's do it. Okay. But let's get some crystals for Virgo to help Virgo with this situation. What are some crystals that Virgo will benefit from? And maybe you guys want to meditate with these crystals, carry them around with you. Let's see though. All right, so we have Malachi. It's time to transform. All right. Yeah, it's time for a new beginning. It's time to heal the past, let go of those wounds that keep having you self-sabotage, because this is not something that you can grow with anymore. So accept that something has come to an end and just go towards your new beginning because you're ready. It's time. We have aquamarine, go with the flow. Absolutely love this. So go with the flow. How can you move like water in this situation? Right? Water will take up whatever space you put it in. Water, especially if you think of like a river, will flow and do whatever it's got to do to navigate those rocks. So that's what you're being asked to do. Flow with this situation. Don't try to control it. Don't try to force it. But how can you accept it for what it is and then move around in that way, right? Hematite, ground yourself. Yes. So this is a very overwhelming situation for you, Virgo. We've had a lot of different like 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords, things like that, showing that you are overthinking about this, with Nocturne, Nightshade, something's, this is keeping you up at night. So with hematite, that's a very beautiful grounding stone. You can also benefit from doing root chakra work just to remind you that you are supported and you are protected. You can go outside barefoot and just be in the grass and feel that connection with Mother Earth and just do different things to remind yourself like, yes, I may not be able to control this situation, but I am safe and I will be protected and I will be divinely redirected. Beautiful. I love it. All right, last little bit here, Virgo, and then that's that. And if this resonated, let me know with a like, a comment. Love to hear from you guys. All of that helps the channel grow as well. So, help a sister out. Let's get a shadow message for Virgo. What is the root of the fear of letting this go? What is the root of holding back how Virgo really feels. Like, tell me where that's coming from, please and thank you. We're trying to control the situation as well. I love this deck so much. I was at an event doing readings, and I just looked over and saw the lady who made this deck. I was like, oh my God, wait, I've been wanting to buy this deck, and I'm so glad I get to buy it directly from you. So if you are in the Kansas City area, this is a locally made deck, and the art on it is done by a local artist as well. So check it out. It is the Wisdom of the Shadow deck. Who's it by? You'd think I know her name, but I don't. Oops. I don't know. All right, let's get a shadow message for Virgo, please and thank you. That's too many. I just want one. Okay. All right. So we have confusion here, and I'm going to read out of the book. And there's different like rituals and contemplations you can do. So if this message resonates with you, write down the contemplations. Come back and do the ritual so that way you can benefit from all of this. And while you're going through this, make it easier on yourself by getting to the root of what could be making you sabotage yourself or the shadow of it all. All right, so we have confusion. Art is cracked and questioning. So if you want to get this art, please do. And it says, I welcome confusion as an opening to new possibility. I let go of the need to have anything figured out. And that's the thing. You're not meant to have it all figured out, Virgo. Sometimes feelings come up and we're like, uh-oh, what do I do with this? How do I handle it? How do I navigate it? What's going to happen next? Hey, take it one step at a time, right? And these are just some different little sayings that go with this. Cracked open, split in half, the question flowing through and all around, fragmented, conflicted, confused, decisions, consequences, the unknown, heart present, both right side up and upside down, yes and, weighing the balance. So yeah, I definitely feel like this realization has come to you and you're trying to decide, okay, what do I do about it now? Sometimes you don't know what you're meant to do, and that's okay. So let's see. It says, confusion as a feeling and emotional experience can be present when we are holding multiple energies, sensations, scenarios that feel conflicting, or when a decision needs to be made and we are weighing the options. Being anxious or nervous has a similar feel inside the body as being excited or filled with energy. If we are used to experiencing anxious or nervous feelings when we are excited or ready, we may get confused by the excitement and translate it as nervousness. You're ready to go away from whatever this is. And sometimes like the book said, sometimes fear can be construed as I'm not ready. But fear is also a way of saying, this is unfamiliar, but I'm excited to go towards it. We can hold what our heart is speaking in conflict with what we know to be logically true. We can also feel that inner pull that we just cannot explain or argue with that draws us in another direction. This can be incredibly confusing when our body and mind are equally convicted in opposing ways. Yes. Yeah, I just don't feel guilty for needing to do what's right for you. Because I feel like that's a big part of it too, is just feeling like I'm a bad person for this. How could I feel this way? This is what the plan was supposed to be. Hey, things happen all the time. Sometimes we can lean toward valuing that which is logical and understood over that which we know to be true through the lens of our body, heart, and gut. There are times when we feel confused, but we actually know, yet are scared to follow the inner guidance that may be less logical but more intuitive. Sitting with the question can be a sacred portal towards deeper understanding. Welcome the energies of uncertainty as wise teachers of possibility, mystery, and trust. Invite yourself to pause and really feel what is true underneath any questioning. And I invite you guys to make a little nighttime ritual out of that. I feel like a lot of the doubt and questioning comes up at night. So instead of like overthinking and trying to figure it out through your mind, when you feel that energy come up, pause, take a few deep breaths, and notice where you feel it in your body. Place your hands there, breathe into it, and just allow the energy to flow through you, and then maybe a legitimate answer will come through. And here are some contemplations, so you can write these down if you guys want to reflect on this later. What does it feel like to go against my inner guidance? When I am confused and conflicted, what is my go-to pattern? That's good, so you can recognize certain patterns. And then, how can I offer myself more spaciousness to sit in inquiry? I like that. Give yourself the time to be confused. It's okay to not know what the next step is. A lot of the times that brings up fear, especially when you like to know what's next and like to have that security in that. But there should also be security just knowing that you're safe and knowing you're okay. You're safe to not know what to do. And a ritual. A pros and cons list is a go-to for many because there is deep power in writing out our questions and options to get them out of the visceral confusion of the body and into a place where we can visually see and process more clearly. To bring clarity in times of confusion, on one piece of paper write, I feel or I could. Then free flow write with all the feelings or aspects of one side of the confusion. On another piece of paper write, I also feel or I could also. Then free flow with the other side of your truth. Notice what becomes clear after writing it all out. I think that's a great idea. So to me, I love to journal, especially when I'm feeling upset or just feeling an energy within myself. And journaling for me usually helps me not only release that, but it helps me get to the root of the issue. Because sometimes when you're just thinking about it or it's just locked in your body, you can't really, sift through it. It's kind of like I'm getting an image of someone, I don't even know what you call this, like when it's kind of like gold mining, but it's like in a fun, like almost kid way, where they are like, okay, here are the crystals you can find, go out there, and like obviously if you keep it in the dirt, you can't really see what's going on. So you get it out, you put it in that little pan, rinse it out, and then you see some clarity. So just kind of get a rinsing, process or ritual that works for you. Because I think you know what's right for you. I just think you need to give yourself the permission to recognize that and then act on it. Okay? All right, Virgo, that is your reading. I really enjoyed this. This is going to be the layout for a while. I was into it. But again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out your other placements. And if you would like to book a personal reading or an alchemy ceremony, that will be on my website listed down below. I also have all my social media there if you want to check out more content. And definitely share this reading with a fellow Virgo. Help the channel grow. Please and thank you. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you next time, Virgo. Bye-bye.